for the Community Services Department. Since this is our first Youth Commission meeting in quite a while, we don't actually have a chair that's in that spot right now. So I'll help facilitate the meeting. Typically, one of you all will be doing this role, but for tonight, again, I'll just do it until we can get to the point where we can get someone in there. So I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:32 p.m. If I can have everyone stand and we can do the salute to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and before I jump into the rest of the agenda, I just wanted to take a brief moment to thank you all for being here. We have a commission that is filled with 15, well, the commission itself has 12 youth members. We have 3 youth ad hoc subcommittee members, and then we have 3 adult commission members. So just want to thank you all for volunteering, for being here, for taking the time, and we're really excited to get this moving forward. So tonight's meeting is probably going to be a lot of information. I'll take it slow, and please, at any point, please feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer or clarify anything as we move forward. Just a few really quick kind of housekeeping items. I did want to introduce Michelle Pinedo. She is our recreation manager. She is over helping to facilitate the meeting as well. She oversees our recreation division in the department, and one area in that division is our teen activities and teen programs. And so Michelle will be really active in this commission as well and is a really great resource for all of you, and likely will be having a lot of communications with her. So as this is a Brown Act body, which means that it's bound by certain rules and guidelines of how the meeting can be held, we do have to do minutes for the meeting. So as you're speaking, if I don't catch who makes motions or seconds or makes any type of actionable comments, please forgive me. I will jump in and just ask for clarification. So just want to give you the warning there that I do need to make sure that I have record of who is making all of the actionable items throughout the meeting. And then for this meeting, we kind of just had you guys sit up on the dais wherever you felt comfortable when you walked in. We will have a little bit more formality to it at the point where we can select both our chair and vice chair, as well as representatives from each of the council districts. And so we'll talk about that most likely at the next meeting. But just so you know, this won't necessarily be where you're sitting your entire time, but we'll certainly walk you through that process. So with that, let me grab my agenda. The first item that we need to go through is approve the order of the agenda. This essentially is an opportunity for you all, if there's an item on the agenda that you'd like to move somewhere else on the agenda. So let's say you want to move a discussion item ahead of another discussion item. This would be the time to do that. So if there's anyone that would like to make that recommendation to the commission, if you can state that in the form of a motion. So you could say, I move that we alter item J1 after J2 or whatever it may be. So if there's no motions, then we will move on, but just wanted to give you all an opportunity. Is there anyone that would like to move an item, or would someone like to make a motion to approve the order of the agenda? And anyone can make a motion. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
How do I unmute? Motion?
Yeah, so okay. Sorry, I probably should have told you. The red light on your microphone means that it's a live mic, so there's audio. Okay, so Commissioner Feldy, did I pronounce that correctly? Would like to move to approve the order of the agenda. Is there someone who would like to make a second? Who is approving?
Second.
Okay. Okay, and then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, perfect. Okay, so you guys all did your first official action at the Youth Commission. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the blue folder. At this meeting, we don't have any blue folder items. Typically, these are items that are associated with items already on the agenda. So let's say we have a discussion item later on that's about playgrounds, for example. And we realized that we forgot to add a component to that report that would be helpful for your discussion, or someone submitted a letter that's associated with that item. We can attach it as a blue folder after the agenda has already been posted. So it can only be items associated with anything on the agenda. As I said, we don't have any tonight, so there's nothing that we need to do for that item. So we will skip that this evening. And we will move on to our consent calendar. So this section of the agenda is an area where we can have multiple items included in the consent calendar. These are more standard, kind of regular items, such as your meeting minutes. We always have to post the affidavit of posting, which is just the assurance to the public that we did publicly post the agenda. And so the commission on these items can pull an item. So let's say there's one on here that you want to discuss a little bit further, or you have questions of staff on. We can pull that item and have a separate discussion on it. Otherwise, if there's no items on here that anyone has any questions or objections to, we would have a motion and a second to approve the entire consent calendar. So you can approve all items on it at one time. So with that, are there any items on the consent calendar that you would like to have pulled? Okay, so then if there's no items to pull, then I just need to ask for a motion and a second to approve all the items on the consent calendar.
I motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, perfect. Okay, so now item G is excluded consent calendar items. This would be the section where if you pulled any, this is where we would discuss those. None were pulled, so we'll skip that. The next one is the public participation on non-agenda items. This is an opportunity for anyone in the public to approach the commission and provide any verbal comments to the commission on any items that are not listed on the agenda. And so with that, we do have the opportunity to have any public comments via Zoom. So Michelle, do we have anyone online?
We have no one attending online, but we have someone in person.
Okay.
So Alina, can you come on?
Okay. Good evening. My name is Alina Rashid Froki. I'm a junior at Redondo, and on behalf of the Beach Cities Youth Advisory Council, I wanted to share something that has recently been done to fight substance use. The Youth Advisory Council is a youth-led work group focused on the health and well-being of our peers. It is one of 5 work groups in the Beach Cities Partnership for Youth Coalition that collaborates with more than 200 local partners to improve youth mental health and combat the most prevalent issues facing youth today, such as substance use. They aim to bring awareness to the growing issues facing our peers, but also to bring awareness to our teachers, parents, and various stakeholders in the community like yourselves. This council works to offer recommendations as well as implement solutions to address youth health issues. And today I want to share one of their recent accomplishments. Recently, members of the Youth Advisory Council and others within Beach Cities Health District worked together to produce a naloxone training video that is incorporated into every training and presentation by the Beach Cities Health District, as well as available on YouTube for the masses to view and understand the opioid crisis, recognize signs of an overdose, administer naloxone, and provide critical support until professional help arrives. The coalition's efforts to address youth substance use and increase awareness around the dangers of illicitly manufactured fentanyl extends beyond this video. Beach City students are being provided critical information through school assemblies to help make smart and healthy choices around substance use. The same information being shared with students is being brought to adults during our parent education night titled "What I Wish My parents knew dangers of youth substance use and fentanyl. These events include a screening of the fentanyl documentary, Come Back Home, followed by a panel discussion with young people from local recovery programs in the Beat Cities. All coalition parent education nights are open to any South Bay parent or caregiver, so we hope to see you at our upcoming one at Monday, October 21st in Manhattan Beach Middle School. Attendees will also have the opportunity to take home an overdose prevention kit that contains the life-saving opioid overdose reversal medication, naloxone intranasal spray, and fentanyl test strips. As a recipient of the California Department of Healthcare Services Naloxone Distribution Project, Beat Cities Health District can supplement prevention efforts by distributing these kits that are also available at Alcove Beat Cities in Redondo Beach. Additionally, as a member of the Alcove Youth Advisory Group, I want to extend an invite to all of you to come to our open house and Co-Fest this Saturday, October 5th. The open house will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and anyone in the community is welcome to come check out the space, receive tours, and hang out. Co-Fest will take place from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., welcoming youth ages 12 to 25 to come enjoy music, art activities, games, crafts, delicious free food, and much more. Both the open house and Co-Fest will be at Alcove Beat Cities, located on the 4th floor of the 514 Prospect Building, and I encourage all of you to come enjoy these amazing events. Thank you for all you do for our community and your continued support in ensuring the health and wellness of Beat Cities youth, and I hope to see you at Alcove this Saturday. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else who'd like to give public comment?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Paige Kalajetovich. I am a City Council member and Mayor Pro Tem here in Redondo Beach. I want to thank all of you for volunteering to contribute to our city. We've been missing a youth voice in our local government, and it is needed. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you feel comfortable in the seats that you're in. I want you to feel inspired by the seats that you're in, because our local government and beyond needs more of your voices. So I'd like to maybe offer my business cards. If there's anything I can do to make this experience something more meaningful, please let me know. I know you'll be discussing your agenda further on in the agenda tonight. But if there are things that are important to you that are not happening quick enough, or ways that we can help you on City Council, I want to hear about it. And I just want to thank you for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. I think we might need a motion to receive and file.
Yes, so anytime anyone from the public has an item that they'd like to hand to the commission, we do have to have a motion and a second to receive and file that. So if I can get a motion?
Motion
Okay.
I second.
The file.
to receive a file.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, is there any other public comments this evening?
Evening, Council. I'm Commissioner Carmichael. I sit on the Public Safety Commission, and I want to commend all of you all for doing this. This is a great, great thing, and it's a great honor. Two things I'd like to impart upon you. Even though you're starting with limitations, perform without them. By limitations, I mean, what's the protocol? How do I do this? How do I do that? Continue to perform without them. The heaviest weight at any gym is the front door. You've passed through. This is the easy part, I promise. And lastly, in all that you do, think about, I encourage you to lead with both empathy and curiosity, right? What you're called to do and what you're going to do while you're sitting up here, it's important, it's relevant, it matters, and it's very much appreciated. So just lead with empathy and curiosity. I think you'll have a great time. And lastly, anytime you need to make a motion, as soon as she says it, just say "so moved." That covers the whole thing. You don't have to make another motion. Just a little tip there. All right, you'll have a great night.
Okay.
Good evening. Thanks for being here tonight. First, I want to thank you for volunteering to serve the city in this capacity. I think it's a great opportunity for the youth of Redondo to help contribute to our government. And congratulations on being amongst those who were selected to be here. That's an honor, and it shows that you interviewed well and that you got a great background. So looking forward for great things from this commission. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Jim Light. I'm the mayor of Redondo Beach. And I do want to thank council member and Mayor Pro Tem Kalijerovich for, she had the passion to help put this thing together because it was dissolved for several years due to COVID. So I want to thank her and Kelly and the community services crew for helping set this up again. I'm expecting great things from you guys. As Paige said, if you have things that you're not covering here that you'd like to, please let us know. And we'll be sure to send things your way that we want to hear from you on. We've been missing the voice of youth in Redondo for several years now, so we're pleased to get that voice back. So look forward to great things. Appreciate, again, your commitment to the community, and good luck, and hope you get inspired by your time here. Thank you very much.
Okay, are there any other public comments this evening? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close public comment. Before we move on to the next item, I want to apologize. In my haste of getting you all situated, I read through the agenda too quickly and I forgot one of the most important things at the beginning is to do roll call. So we're going to backtrack for a quick moment. I just really, just for the record, I just want to make sure that we get you all on that. So I just have it currently listed in alphabetical order. At some point, we will certainly get it reordered based on chairperson, all of that. So, so I'll just call your name. If you can make sure you speak into the mic and just announce that you're here. And please forgive me if I mispronounce any names. Commissioner, is it Bubenechik? Okay. Commissioner Campisi?
Here.
Commissioner Chabot?
Here.
Commissioner Chavez?
Here.
Commissioner Cho?
Here.
Commissioner Cunningham? Commissioner Edwards? Commissioner Feldy?
Present.
Commissioner Flynn?
Here.
Commissioner Reeds?
Present.
Commissioner Sorgan?
Here.
Commissioner Steinberg? Commissioner Tagvai?
Here, Tagvoy.
Tagvoy, okay. Commissioner Van Pelt?
Present.
Commissioner Weiss? And then ad hoc subcommittee members, Nguyen?
Present.
Subcommittee member Robles?
Oh, here.
I was going to say, I thought I saw the name. And subcommittee member, is it Tron?
Yeah.
Tron. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we do have a quorum, so just want to confirm that. So thank you all. Sorry about that. I apologize. I know, we got to start all the way over. Sorry, that was just practice for you guys. Okay, so we just finished public participation, which is item H. Item I is items continued from previous agendas. Since this is our first official agenda since our kind of reboot, there are none here, so we'll skip that section. Item J is where the bulk of your meeting is typically going to be. This is where any items are that we really want to hear from you and get your feedback. And so these are the actionable items typically are on the agenda on this section. So the first item is the election of officers. And before I jump into this, I just want to mention we do have we have 4 commissioners who are absent currently. And so it's up to you all tonight. If you would like to choose a chairperson and a vice chair, and then the secretary is a ceremonial position, we can do it this evening, but we can also push it till next meeting just to give an opportunity for those that are not present to still be part of this process. So So this is an annual item where we do require all of our commissions to choose a chairperson and a vice chair. And the chairperson is the one leading the meeting. So you will hear them speaking more than you'll hear me in the future. So the chairperson is the one that facilitates the meeting, that calls the items up, that calls the meeting to order, that essentially asks for the motions and kind of just really facilitates the meeting order on the agenda. Any one of you on the commission can serve as the chairperson. The ad hoc subcommittee members are the only ones that cannot serve as the chair and chairperson. So just want to point that out. So again, this is an annual item. You do serve for a total of 1 year. The vice chairperson serves in the case that the chairperson is unable to attend. So if the chairperson is not here, the vice chair will then move into that seat and they will be the one facilitating the meeting for that night. So again, it's up to you all tonight what you would like to do. If you would like to push this item to the next meeting, I'm happy to continue to facilitate tonight's meeting, just so we can give everyone an opportunity to nominate themselves and throw their names in the hat. Otherwise, I'm open to any nominations you have this evening for either of those positions.
I have a question.
Sure.
So I'm a senior in high school and I won't be here 1 year from now. So would that just eliminate my possibility for either of those positions?
No, not at all. And when I say 1 year, I mean a school year.
Okay.
Because this commission does take a recess during the summer. So really, it's really the school year. So it'd be from now through, what is it, June, I believe. So.
Okay, also, I won't be here next meeting. Actually, yes, I won't. But I'd be interested in the positions, but I don't want to discount anybody who isn't here. So I just want to put my name out here and for consideration at the next meeting.
Okay. Does anyone else have any thoughts or
I
input?
was going to ask, like, how would we choose, like, because I was also interested in the position, how would we choose who is going to be chairperson, or if we're waiting for the next meeting for everybody to be here before making that decision?
Sure. So it's all in the form of a motion. So if someone would like to nominate someone or even say that they would like to put their name on the list, we can do that. We just have to have a motion and a second for each person, and then we would do a vote. The same would be if we decided to push the item to the next meeting. It would be a motion to continue this item to the next meeting. We'd do a second, and if the majority decided to do that, we would push it to the next meeting.
I would be willing to be vice chair.
Okay. I'm sorry, what is your last name? The one who just spoke, what's your last name?
Takvoy.
Oh, okay, got it, thank you. So would you like to, so why don't we start here and figure out, do you guys all want to make the decision this evening? Because then we can start doing the nominations and all of that, or would you like to push it to the next meeting? Does anyone have a concern either way?
Motion to push it to the next meeting.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay. And Commissioner Cho, you made the second? Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay, so those that are interested, please be sure to voice your interest next month when we do the nominations again.
Point of order. Commissioner Feldy won't be here next time. Can we still consider her participation?
We certainly can. If she would be interested in it, then someone else can make the nomination for her. Yes. And, oh, I'm sorry.
Do you know which one you want to be?
Not too sure, but
You can if you would like to let me know or another commissioner know before the next meeting, they can let us know. So if you want to think about it, not to
Definitely.
put you on the
Thank
spot.
you.
Okay. Okay, and I apologize. I'm explaining so much that I'm not paying attention to the agenda like I should. I'm not a good chairperson tonight, so I apologize for that. We did not do public comment on that item. So any actionable item, we do have to ask members of the public if they have any comments. I know we did motion and took action, but just for the record, just want to make sure. Does anyone have any public comment on the election of officers item? Okay, thank you. Okay, so for our next item, sorry, I didn't have time to pull this up. I do have a presentation. My folders aren't showing up, of course. Okay, I'll just talk through this because I don't want to keep you guys waiting. So the next item is really just an informational item for you all. And at some point, which we're hoping will be next month, we really want the commission to really start setting some goals and plans forward of some key projects and items that the commission would like to approach throughout the next year. And so we put together a report for you that really kind of sets the groundwork of what the purpose of the commission is. I certainly won't go through each one of those because I'm sure you all read the agenda report, but it's really obviously focused on key areas of the teen population in the city, as well as projects and activities that the city council or the city would like your input on. And so what we wanted to do for those who may not have been too familiar with the previous commission and some of the work that the commission has done in the past, we did list some items in the in the administrative report that outline some of the key topics that the commission discussed or considered within the past year or so before it stopped moving forward. And so I'll just briefly mention those right now. The purpose of this item is really to get an opportunity for you all to have an idea of where the commission has been focused before, so that as we move forward and develop our plan and develop our goals and how we're going to be doing activities, you have an idea of the past work so that you can kind of set a good foundation for that future discussion. So with that, I'll just briefly kind of go through some of the past discussions were centered around during COVID, there was a presentation by the school board president regarding the reopening of schools. There was a presentation on mental health awareness by the Beach Cities Health District. A discussion with author Heidi Swan about her book called A Night in Jail, and that's centered around drugs and mental illness. And another really important local topic was about the AES power plant. And so some of these were driven by the commission. They were interested in getting information on the power plant, for example. So staff brought in someone to do a presentation to inform you all. So if there was some sort of topic related to that you all wanted to have an opportunity to have input, you would have the information to do so. Two other important areas we put in the administrative report are things that we heard during the interviews that seem to be a common theme. And the first one was topics that were mentioned when asked about important issues facing teens in the city. And so those were barriers to socialization, e-bikes, mental health, drug use, just overall safety, and nutrition and obesity. So our kind of second area of questioning that there seemed to be some kind of regular themes and similar answers during the interviews were, the question was, what are the ways that teen programs could be enhanced to be better supported by the teens in theory? And so some of the responses were to create a social media presence that specifically caters to cities' teens, develop a teen survey. That one showed up quite a bit, and that was to gather data on issues, areas of improvement, event ideas, potential collaborations, and all of that. Create teen and family event nights, create a comprehensive activities calendar. That one definitely was brought up several times. Develop a one-stop shop for teen resources. In a lot of ways, that was probably our number one response that we heard. Teens just want resources and they just don't know where to go. And so that was a big one. And then create a streamlined way to communicate with teens via text or social media. So some of these are kind of in the same vein. Another point that we want to kind of throw out for you all, just so you have it in the back of your mind, is we are currently under construction to renovate the teen center at Perry Park. When that facility does reopen, we will certainly lean very heavily on you all in some capacity, whether it's a secondary subcommittee focused on the teen center or it's really a full commission discussion or both, to really talk about how we reopen that facility, what programs and activities we have in that facility, even down to potentially what type of amenities we want. Do you guys want a pool table? Do you want a ping pong table? Is that something you would use? Is there something else that we could put in that facility? So just want to mention that the teen center itself and the functions of the teen center is going to likely be a very heavy topic for you guys. So as you're kind of thinking about how you want to organize yourselves and focus your next few months on the commission, just want you to know that that will be forthcoming and probably be a pretty heavy lift of you all. So not to say you can't do more. There's certainly a lot that we can do together, but just want to mention that that will be already on our list for us to give to you. So I know that was a lot of information, but what we wanted to do tonight is really just, again, lay that foundation of what the previous commissions have done, what we heard during interviews of areas of concern and things we can move forward with, and present that to you tonight, and really just let that kind of simmer, essentially. What we want you to do is really think about this, and at our next commission meeting, we will ask you all to have a very dedicated discussion on figuring out what are some key areas and topics or projects that you want to focus your attention on the next year on the commission, next school year on the commission. Because from that's what will help us as staff facilitate the future discussions to be as helpful for you all, to be as active as you would like to be on certain topics. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I know that was a lot of information. But tonight, what I need from you all is just a motion to receive and file this item. There's no actionable item on this. We're not asking for direct input. Happy to take that, and what we'll do is we'll capture that and put it into next month's agenda. So if you have items on this that you'd like us to put down for the record that we can include next month, would love to have that discussion tonight, but not necessarily required. But what we do need at a minimum is a receive and file motion from you. So with that, if there's no questions, we'll go to public comment, but I just want to make sure that there's no questions that I can answer.
What is the projected reopening date of the teen center?
We don't necessarily have a dedicated date. We're hoping early 2025, but we don't quite know just yet. Construction, the exterior was just recently painted and the interior is completely getting remodeled. And so we're kind of in the early stages of that. So still trying to work through some clearer timelines for that to be completed.
Thank you.
I have a question about agenda item J1, the election of officers. So you mentioned that the ad hoc subcommittee couldn't run for the chairperson. I was just wondering why.
So, so the ad hoc subcommittee doesn't have voting power on the commission. They're here to provide input. So on this item, for example, if an ad hoc subcommittee member had input on a certain topic they'd like the commission to consider, they would be more than welcome to provide that input, but they couldn't vote on the final item for it. So if you can't vote, you can't essentially lead the meeting. So, but I do want to make sure though too, that as a Brown Act body, you do have to follow the agenda. And so we are on item J2. So just want to make sure that we focus our discussion on that. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have as we go through though, but I just want to make sure, did I answer your question okay on that? Okay, great, thank you.
I just have another question. I know you mentioned those items on the list of previously discussed. If we had other potential projects that we might want to work on, we would bring that up at the next commission meeting?
Yes, so that future discussion is not limited to anything that we discussed tonight. So if there's additional items that you all know about, please, by all means, jot those down so that next month we can have those as part of our discussion and we can include that so you all can have the opportunity to vote on what you want to focus on.
Absolutely, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
Okay, before we take a vote, I just want to make sure we don't have any public comment. Is there any public comment on this item? Okay, perfect. Okay, so let me just make sure I have this. So that was Commissioner Feldy and Campisi, you second? Okay, is there, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Okay. Okay, the next item, J3, is our staff liaison report. These are typically verbal reports that we have for you. They're not usually attached to the agenda unless there's a presentation for it. And these are just kind of informational items for you. So likely as we start moving forward with the teen center renovation, we'll probably bring you some verbal updates on progress made on that project. If there's other projects that are teen related that we think you all need to be informed of, we will provide that during this section of the agenda. This evening, we don't have anything for you, so that item we can move on from. Item K is member items and referrals to staff. And so this section is an opportunity for you, if you have anything that you would like staff to, that you have questions of us on a project that's not on the agenda, of course, or if you have items that you would like the commission to consider in the future. So let's say, for example, you would like the commission to consider discussing, I'm trying to think of something, a new event at the teen center that we don't currently have on our calendar. You can just very briefly say, I would really like this event to be considered at the teen center. I'd like the commission to have an opportunity to help facilitate that event. If you get a motion and a second, what we will do then, and then obviously a majority vote, we will agendize that discussion on a future meeting. So really that vote is just to confirm that the commission wants to discuss that item, okay? So this section is kind of dual part. It's really an opportunity if you have any questions or if you'd like the commission to consider future items. So, and that's considered the referrals portion. So I'll turn it over to you if you have any questions or referral items to consider tonight.
Going back to the officer positions, I noticed that secretary is a, what is it? A ceremonial role.
Correct.
So
yes.
I was wondering what that entails.
It's really just the title.
Okay.
It's just something that's in our municipal code. We as staff will take care of the minutes. So there's really nothing for the secretary to do. It's just, again, a ceremonial title.
Thank you.
Of course.
I had a question. For election of officers, is it just to nominate? Like, do you say anything to say why you should be voted for it? Or is it just putting your name out there?
It would just be you don't have to necessarily give a reason. You could just nominate yourself.
But could you give a reason?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I also have a question for elections of officers. If we were to nominate for one role and we end up not being nominated by the vote, would we be able to nominate then for a secondary role? For example, if one person were to run for chair and they don't get it, would they be able to run for secretary?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Just confirm.
Okay, are there any other member items and referrals to staff? Okay, so now we're on to adjournment, which is the end of our agenda. So we do need a formal motion and a second to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second that.
Okay. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, well, thank you all. That's the end of our agenda. I appreciate you all bearing with me to try to facilitate the meeting for you and take all the notes. We will be in communication with you on future agendas, and if, at any time, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you, guys.